What's going on, guys?
Oh, I'm sorry. Were you expecting an actual good content creator? Much mislead. I'm Farfa, and you might know me from videos such as
United States, Canada, Mexico, Panama, Haiti, Jamaica, Peru, Republic Dominican, Cuba, Caribbean.
So I'll be filling in for Cimoooooooo today because he's Cimoooooooo can't come to the phone right now because he's exploiting labor and making us work for free as lesser YouTubers. He's gotten very lazy recently.
What?
And
No, he's sick.
what?
He's sick.
Oh, yeah, okay. Alright, he's not feeling well, I guess. Okay, well, I'm gonna be doing a top 10 discussing the most boring decks that I've ever played in this game. And bear in mind that I only haven't really played this game since 2014 onwards. So that's kind of where I'll be working from, and it's everything that I've experienced. So obviously it's a subjective thing, it's down to opinion, and obviously yours is gonna be different, so don't get offended. Disclaimer, are we done with the disclaimer? Can we just... But first I'd like to thank my current contributors, such as Farfa, DZ, House of Champs, Nim Nim. Without these content creators, Cimoooooooo wouldn't be able to get the free content that he deserves so he can take a day off. Make sure to subscribe, and if you really like my content, hit the bell. The bell. And sub to Farfa, I guess. Please. So beginning at number 10, I'm going ahead and starting off with Fire Fist. And I know there's been about 4 different versions of the deck, but I'm specifically referring to 2014 +1 Fire Fist. And this was around about the time when I personally started getting more invested in the competitive scene of Yu-Gi-Oh! And, well, it was pretty mind-numbing. Considering how there were other decks available around about the start of 2014, like Hieratic Rulers or Mermel, they were way more sort of combo based, and you could do a lot more different things. It was far more decision trees, whereas Fire Fist literally was like tanky, bear, pop, attack, set, get wolf bark, set a trap. I didn't enjoy it, but I played it for a bit because it was actually a very good deck to learn the game with and learn the basics of, you know, trading, management, and sort of planning ahead, I guess. And I felt like the deck was decent for that. So I guess that's why I stuck to it for so long. And at number 9, we have the one that's going to get this video the most amount of dislikes, and that's Blue Eyes. Or is as most commonly known among the scientific and academic community as Brick Eyes. Seriously, if you weren't opening double trade-in, no target, and stuff like that, this deck just, oh god, it was so dull. It was really so dull. There was some kind of fun combo versions, I suppose, with Brilliant Fusion and stuff, but this deck just really wasn't that consistent. And even if you did get going, what would you do? Summon alternative and make a synchro and set a card maybe and pass and have a hand trap in hand. It's just not a deck that I've ever been attracted to. Personally, I've always been a Dark Magician person way more than a Blue Eyes person, and that deck I found unbelievably 10 times more fun than Blue Eyes has ever been for me personally. But like I said, that's just my opinion. That's how I feel about the deck. And the next one we have is ABC, which is about honestly as boring as Calvin Tahan's Facebook feed. When this deck first came out, it was Sook Buster Pass, I think. And again, basically everything in this list, I just want to reiterate, by the way. I understand there's different versions of the deck, there's different combos you could do. But generally, I'm referring specifically to when this first came out with the structure deck and stuff. You were generally just playing 3 pieces hanger and 30 million traps, and that's how this deck functioned. You make Tsukiyomi, oh, and the gadgets, of course, yeah, because that's how you make Tsukiyomi turn 1. So you go Tsukiyomi, and then you make Buster, and you set 4 back rows. It was just, it was awful to play against. But on top of that, as a player, I was just this isn't really great. I don't feel like I have any sort of decision tree past just make this one guy, which is very rich coming from the Burning Abyss player. I know. Listen, we'll discuss that another time. Clifforts are a deck that I notoriously hate, and I'm referring, I guess, specifically to some of the more Floodgate versions, but personally, I think even when the deck first came out, I just had no attraction to it whatsoever, which is very weird because Pendulum did end up becoming one of my most favorite mechanics. I think it was because of the fact that you couldn't summon anything except Clifforts, so your plays were really limited to how quickly can I summon Disc and kill my opponent, or shell, or bounce something with stealths and they can't respond with. And especially deeper into the year after with Necros and stuff, you were literally just playing Rivalry, Emptiness, Skill Drain and stuff like that. And That was just dreadful. I swear, I've never played anything worse. I think it was literally just to bully people and to relieve some stress, and that's about the only thing I got from Clifford. Next up is Evil Swarm, and this deck is something that I played in my very early days of competitive Yu-Gi-Oh! And much like +1 Fire Fist, I think it was a good deck to learn the game with in terms of, you know, holding traps for the right time and learning to trade correctly. That kind of stuff that a lot of things don't really come naturally to players sometimes. It was a decent thing to learn the game with, but, you know, that's because it's so simple, and that's because it doesn't really do anything past, like, make a Ophion. Ophion, sorry. I mean Ophion. Gonna leave that in there because I know someone's gonna be upset by that. There's never any like insanely cool play. It's the definition of protect the castle, because the whole theme of and like main ability of the boss monster is to search protection from the boss monster. It's just literally protect the castle, and those decks have never been fun or enjoyable for me. Psyframe is our next one, and where do you begin with this deck? It's a deck that doesn't work unless your opponent does something, so for you to interrupt and disrupt that something. Just think about that on paper and you'll realize why I hate this deck so much. It was so dull, like you had to rely on your opponent playing in order for your deck to function, which I feel like just, you know, wasn't fun for me at all personally. But on top of that, if you played against someone who actually knows how to play against Psyframe, they would set a monster, flip summon, and then attack. And if you didn't draw the... Is it beta? Is it... not driver. That's the one you don't want to draw, right? I draw it all the time, but... Anyway, the point is like, if you played against someone who knew how to play against this deck, it was so slow and grindy, and I don't think this deck has ever, in the history of its existence, not been to time, but it goes to time a lot, and I don't think it has any advantages there. Burn, Stall, Exodia, those kind of things, because generally, at least when I started playing it, they kind of ran similar cards like Hope for Escape and Wabakus and Fader and stuff like that, and it was really just, that was it. Like that was really with the deck, like especially Final Countdown. Oh my god, just every single turn, Thunder of Ruler, Wabaku. Like it was ridiculous. It was trolly, and I played it a little bit on YGO Pro, and it lost its like fun gimmick after about 3 games, and after that I was just like, okay, right, I'm never touching this deck again. Like it's terrible, and it's really funny when you first do it, but honestly, I don't see how anyone could like have ever played this competitively, because it actually was somewhat okay back in the day. I'm sure it has a premier event top as well. So I mean, that's you know, that's Countdown. As for Stall and Burn and stuff like that, I mean, Chain Burn is a deck that's been in the game forever, and you know, I'm not gonna say the deck is completely brain dead, but you kind of just flip all of your traps and then refill your hand with like Reckless Greed or Balance of Judgment, and then you just do the same again next turn until your opponent burns to death. And it's very frustrating as well playing against a good player, because they know how to play around Burn, and that just makes the game slower, and I'm not someone who likes slow games. I don't like sitting grinding it out and waiting, and just I need like stimulation for my ADD like ASAP. Like I need things happening all the time, and that's just, those games are just not fun. What we have here is Stun. Just Stun. How many Stun versions of it? There's been like 500 Stun versions over the course of the years. Fossil Dynas, the Phantom Knight equip spell that protects from being destroyed, just a bunch of Mirror Forces, Bottomless, Torrential, Warnings, Solemn Strike, whatever it is, Stun the King. Inspect the Border now recently, and then Stun's been a thing for years, and it's just, I want to reason with you from a political sort of level of joining our nations together and understanding one another. I just want to know, Stun players, why? Why? Who enjoys this? Who enjoys this? Number 2, we have very similar to the one above, and that is Counter Fairies. I don't want to go too in depth with it, but I feel like the last 3 choices are just basically the same. I mean, it's a glorified stun deck. It's got a little bit more combos. It's got some recent support with Bountiful Armistice, and you can draw cards and stuff, and maybe do things with the Parshaft if people are playing that. And I don't know. I tried the structure deck stuff for a little bit, and did I even play a game? I think I got bored at the deck building screen. Like, it's just, when I see that many purple cards in the deck, I don't know. I don't find it that fun to play like super heavy stun trap deck strategies and things. But again, like I said, this is just a personal thing, and it's just something that I you know, don't have a lot of fun with. And for number 1, we have the most boring, the most snore-inducing, terrible, unfun, garbage that I've ever played, we have...
Oh, sorry. I didn't see you.
We have...
Plug your channel.
What?
Tell me about your channel.
Okay, let's chill first. If you enjoyed this video and you want to see more, then consider subscribing to me, and all my stuff will be in the description. If you like the Twitch scene at all, then I stream basically every night of the week, so you can watch me there at Farfa YGO. I have a Discord community as well where we share deck lists and help each other with, you know, Yu-Gi-Oh! And stuff in general and talk about whatever. Discord.gg/Farfa. I have a Twitter as well at FarfaYGO where you can find me. Alright, yeah, the number one. Okay, so at Bujin. It was Bujin. There you go. Like I said earlier, protect the castle. This deck just enveloped everything. Floodgates, trap cards, whatever you want to call it, this deck did everything. It was summon one singular monster called Yamato, which was named after a battleship or something apparently, and because that's exactly what this guy was. It was a goddamn fortress that was impossible to get through. You couldn't beat over it because of crane, you couldn't like target it because of turtle, you couldn't destroy it because of hair. You had to do that like multiple times in a turn just to out Yamato, and that's if they didn't have some kind of fiendish chain or something behind him to stop your plays. Let's not even mention Kaiser Colosseum. I hate that card so much. That Bujin Yamato backed up with Kaiser was unreal. Unreal amount of hate that I have for this deck. Thanks everyone for watching my video. Make sure you follow me and subscribe and all that stuff. I'll be done for now. Head on over and leave a comment down below saying what your most boring deck is that you've ever played. Give Cimo some love as well, and hopefully he'll be better soon. Until next time, Master Peace.